welcome to my YouTube channel. In this tutorial I will show you step by step how to model this predator logo that I'm gonna be using in my future projects. Let's get started. First things first, let's add a reference image to the scene. Shift A, I'm gonna be adding a reference image, go over image, then reference. Let's navigate where we have saved that image. Desktop, it's over here. Before loading this reference image, make sure that you try to set up the scene by hitting numpad 1 in order to avoid the accurate position of the reference image. Shift image and reference. Click to select your logo, your reference image. Let's load it like this, and we have set it to let's get started. Zoom in by scrolling on the mouse wheel. Just let's enable screencast keys in order to show what buttons I'm pressing. Let's move on by selecting the image, and you can see what buttons I'm pressing in real time over here using screencast keys add-on. Just go over reference image using these tools, and here we have the object data properties for image. Then you can see this panel, so let's resize it just a little bit to show up information or show up some of those factors better. Than check the opacity. Let's lower down the opacity like this in order to avoid some confusion. As you can see that this logo is symmetrical to this axis, to the z-axis. Then we just gonna model this side, and the other side will be symmetrical using the mirror modifier or using the symmetrize tool. The topology of some complex shapes like this, especially this or those logos for cars. For example, let me show you something pretty interesting. I'm going to try to make some topology, like sketching, for example. This is similar to sketching like this, and make sure you make the right topology, because you're gonna get some topology issues and you make some mistakes. Because, for example, in some cases you're gonna get some bad issues by creating quads, and that mesh should depend on all quad mesh, for example, like this, and we have some quads, and by creating the right topology you can get better results when you render it, or doing something else by adding materials and UV wrapping and all that stuff. First things first, I'm gonna be adding a plane just like this, and hit R and rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees like this. Tap into edit mode as shown in our tutorial. Then by clicking on the right mouse button, is gonna be showing this menu over there, and make sure that the loop tools add-on is enabled, but I think we don't use it in this tutorial. Just go over here. I'm gonna be collapsing it to just one vertex as shown here. Then grab it using the shortcut G as shown here. Then move that vertex over there. So just I'm gonna be just placing it over here. Then let's extrude. Let's extrude again. Do it again for this section. Make sure that you extrude it for those areas. Ctrl Z to undo. If you are going to make some good topology like this, let's see what we have here. I think it's not bad. Extrude it. Let's select all those vertices just like this and extrude. Then scale as shown in here in our tutorial. So let's grab that vertex. Let's select these two vertices, extrude them like this, Ctrl Z. Just I want to add a mirror modifier. It's over there, and just to work on one side and the other side will be symmetrical and will be generated automatically. Then select these two vertices, extrude them down, and you can see that clipping is not enabled. You should enable it in order to avoid that issue and creating that gap. Let's extrude it up just a little bit. Grab it down. Grab that vertex over there. Grab that over there. Let's fill that gap. Select those four vertices, hold down Shift, hit F to fill it. Do it again for those vertices and this gap at the bottom, hit F to fill it. And your topology depends on what you want to do, because some areas and some curvatures should be matched and avoid that bad topology, and should make sure that you have matched full topology in order to avoid those issues. Move it down just a little bit. And I think it's not bad. Grab those vertices, move it just a little bit over there. Then I'm going to be creating just loop until we get to this area at the center over there, because loop cut should terminate into itself or terminate into the void, because if some loop cuts gonna intersect themselves, it's gonna be creating bad issues. Let's extrude those vertices. Extrude just like this. I have set this to bounding box center like this. Then let's do it manually in order to Ctrl Z to undo. As you can see here, I have extruded those vertices. I want to extrude them to the center in order to create this area over there, and depending on just quad mesh, all quad mesh, just like this, scale it down just a little bit. and you have some issues, hit X to delete some vertices. In order to resolve those issues, I'm gonna be using the knife tool, hit K, cut over here like this, hit enter. Then I'm gonna be filling this area, triangle over there, hit F to fill it. Then switch to edge select mode, select that edge, then hit using the right click on the mouse. Let's dissolve that edge. If some problems facing you, you should delete the vertex at the center because of the mirror modifier is gonna be making some issues. Just select that vertex over there, then extrude it to the center like this. Hold down shift and select those 4 vertices and that area, then hit F to fill. Make sure that you have selected all those 4 vertices, select those 4 vertices, hit F to fill, and it's done. Let's get rid of this issue over there because this triangle is gonna be making some issues later on. Now let's delete that vertex. We have 2 vertices. Let's delete that vertex and delete that vertex. I'm gonna be extruding that vertex over there. Select it, then extrude it to the center of symmetry. Select those, hold down shift and select those 4 vertices and fill. Do it for this scalp and it's done. Let's see how to select all those vertices. Avoid to select this because those vertices at the center of symmetry are gonna be making some weird issues. Select this vertex. I'm gonna be selecting through this loop like this, hold down Ctrl and click the last one to extrude like this, and let's scale. Problem that after scaling and extruding, we have some vertices going to be merged at the center of symmetry. So let's select that vertex, grab it, and you can't. So just delete that vertex. Let's do it for the bottom part. Hit X to delete that vertex. I think it's not bad, but I'm gonna be just making even distance and trying to work on that distribution of vertices in order to avoid shading issues later on when working on that mesh. So grab it over there, grab it down just a little bit, then move that vertex, and see you in the next part or the second part to continue modeling this logo. Thanks for watching.